Good evening. It is Monday, March 11, 2019. This meeting is recorded in the Neil Shapiro Auditorium at Winthrop High School and may be recorded live. Ms. Hames, you please call the roll.
Mr. Fabiano?
Here.
Mr. Matucci?
Yep.
Ms. Powell?
Present.
Ms. Swope?
Present.
Mr. Perrin?
Here.
Mr. Capabianco?
Present. Ms. Powell, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment? Hearing none. Moving on to financial and business procedures, we have a warrant SVW 19-14 in the amount of $188,362.29. Do I have a motion to approve the warrant?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Perrin,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Swope. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Payroll warrant SPW 19-12 in the amount of $703,182.39, and payroll warrant SPW 19-13 in the amount of $703,675.74. Do I have a motion to approve
Motion
both
to
payroll
approve.
warrants? Motion by Ms. Powell, seconded by Vice Chair by Mr. Fabiano. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Buildings and grounds, we have the Winthrop Middle School PTO Full Court Frenzy and the Parks and Recs Recreation Character Breakfast. All of the necessary paperwork is attached. Do I have a motion to approve both requests?
Motion to approve, I can't even talk. Motion to approve both together.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Perrin, seconded by Mr. Matucci. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Subcommittee reports, Mr. Matucci, let's go to the budget reports.
Two budget subcommittee meetings we had in the last month or so. The first one was on February 13th. Took place at the superintendent's office. At that meeting, we discussed that we wanted to have see two budgets, a level service budget and a needs budget. Lisa had showed us how her and the administrators and staff have been building the budget and what procedures they've been following, some new steps, which were very good in getting to these numbers and finding out what we have to run the district and to try to move the district forward. So that meeting, we had a vote with myself, Jen, and Jimmy. And the vote was to have Lisa at the next meeting present a level service budget and what we would call a needs budget, which would be something that would move the district forward. And then that meeting was adjourned, and we fast forward to March 7th. At that meeting, Lisa did present the two budgets to us, the level service budget and the needs budget, which were in your packets for this meeting. We talked about how we got to these numbers, and the work that went into it was pretty extensive, and I really commend Lisa and the administrators and staff on this, because everybody was involved, and that's a big thing. So I'm going to give you the numbers of the totals of the level service budget, which is $21,688,382. Now that number, level service, means that we would have enough money to maintain exactly what we had this year. Obviously, there's increased costs, contractual and others, in order for us to maintain where we are now for next year. So that's not the same number for this year that we're currently in. That's increased. The second budget that we were given, which is exactly what we asked for, was the needs budget. And the needs budget is $23,060,008. That budget would give us level service plus some extra money to do some things that the staff and the administrators feel very strongly to move the district forward. We took a vote at that meeting, myself and Jen, to present the two budgets to the committee, level service and needs. However, we recommend that the full committee move the needs budget forward to the town manager and the town council.
I make a motion that we accept the recommendation and move the needs budget forward.
There's a motion by Mr. Perrin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Powell. Any discussion on the motion?
I thought we were going to send the needs budget into the paper, but that is what we had to do tonight. I mean, we had to decide on that tonight. Is that what we're deciding on?
So the way the budget process works is we have to send the council,
Correct.
a number that we want to
I
ask
see.
for. They, from there, have to agree to that, counter,
Yeah,
or vote against, and then it gets sent back to us.
Also
So
has-
it has to be published as well. So that's what we want to do right now. But we have to approve of that number first, and that's what the motion is.
Yeah, so, yeah, like, again, Tina's, it is a process. These numbers are probably gonna change.
Yes.
They're not gonna be, but for the purposes of posting in the
Yeah.
paper,
right.
and as of right now, if the council wanted a number today, we would give them the needs budget number.
Absolutely.
So, obviously, it's a large number. It's not, something that, I don't want to say that we probably won't get, but it's going to be difficult to get. There's always the chance that we will get that, but what I'm saying is that we need to move forward on this for purposes of posting. We have a public hearing coming up, Susan, on the budget. What's the date?
April 8th.
I'm
So
sorry?
April 8th.
April
So
8th.
the
April
purpose
8th.
of posting this in the paper is to give, for the school committee to make a statement to the community that these are the figures and the services that the school district has put forth to the school committee in terms of what we believe we need to move the district forward and not just at a level service. It gives the community 3 weeks. It's posted for 3 weeks in a row. So it gives anyone in the community the opportunity to take a look at that and see just what the school is asking for. It also gives food for thought. So for those folks in the community that want to come to our budget hearing, which will be April 8th, it'll be at the school committee meeting for the town to come in and give public comment. I would encourage other comments to be made to school committee members, to principals, and certainly to me as you look through that budget. It also gives this committee 3 weeks to continue to look at the budget and meet and question sort of the regularities of the budget if you see something in there, or if there is something that's not in that budget. That this committee has also had several subcommittee meetings where we've talked about the budget. So if there are things that come up along the way that the committee also wants to see embedded in this budget, all of those discussions take place. And then at that public meeting, you will see a presentation from me that will highlight and outline the needs-based budget in detail. So it will show you at the high school level if their budget for salary under needs-based has increased by $349,000. That's what they believe, the high school believes they need in order to move forward. I will be able to pinpoint for you, what does that look like, a math teacher, a co-teacher, and be able to have those deeper discussions with anyone in the community. This committee has seen much of that in the detailed budget already, but over the next 3 weeks, posting it in the paper gives us the time to really take a strong look at that. And it also gives the town council an opportunity to see what is the school district coming forth with in terms of their request, so that they have a sense of how much total money they have across the entire town and what they will reasonably be able to provide the schools. So it gives a crystal clear understanding of what the school district requires, as well as what we desire in terms of moving forward. And then, after you vote on the 8th, which budget it is that you would like us, that you approve as a school committee, We could then continue the work with the town council, the FinCom, in those discussions, right up until they take their vote, which is typically not till late in May. And once that total figure is given to us, we will have to right-size our budget to meet the amount of money that the town has given to the school district to spend.
Any further discussion on the motion?
I would like to point out, and I think that it's important to understand that this is not a wish list. This is not, even though it is a large number, it's not what we're saying it would be nice to have. These are things that we need to have to move this school forward in the way that the parents have been asking us to, in the way that the community has been expecting us to do. So while I understand the budget constraints that we're under, it is important to know, and this is why I've supported having the needs budget, because I think people need to understand what it would take to get to
Where we want to be.
where we want to be.
Is there an easy way that we can show what the difference is between the level service and the needs in the sense of positions, in the sense of where the money's being spent, so that we can bring it to the community, they can understand, okay, we asked for, on top of the level service, for the needs budget, another 1.3 million. What does that 1.3 million represent?
Right. So in the needs budget that the committee at this point has had the opportunity to look at, there is a needs-based budget that does highlight anything that is new and is above and beyond the level service budget. So all of those highlights will show you that this is not level service, this is in addition to. But I think to back up Jen's point too a little bit is the detail that's involved in the backup that we have to support the requests. It does exist, and typically during public forum is when parents may ask, well, why do you need another math teacher at the high school? And the detail that we have put the principals and the teachers through in order to justify that is pretty clear and has resulted in that request. So hopefully if people do have questions about that beyond the committee, because we discussed that during subcommittee. Is that what your question is?
Right, but we can see it in the budget that you gave us, right? But I'm saying for the community, is there something that we can put on some, whether it be the website or whatever, maybe putting out, a sheet
Like a
similar
cheat
to this,
sheet.
of a breakdown saying, okay, the difference between the level service and the needs. Okay, we asked for an additional 1.3 million. What is that 1.3 million, not dollar for dollar, but
Sort of like
additional
category.
salaries here, give it a little bit of a breakdown of what, that 1.3 million
Yes.
represents.
Mr. Perrin?
If we can. If we can't,
I was just gonna say, break it out, because, I mean, it's already highlighted, so
Right.
it shouldn't be that.
Yeah.
Sure.
We've done this in the past, and I think, for example, just take a look at page 3. We're requesting over $150,000 for a new math coordinator, reading specialist, and ELL teacher. We just, for example, break that down to, right there on the amount, I think, so on and so forth. I think that would be helpful to the community.
Sure, we can do that.
and it's a way of showing them that we're not just, like we were talking about earlier, we're not just adding 5% on it to say 5%.
Right.
We have what
plan,
that
specifically where it's
money's
going.
being spent on.
Right.
And not to say that they're gonna accept it, but they'll understand what the mindset is behind it.
Exactly.
Good idea.
And maybe it'd be helpful also to show the increased enrollment, so that they
So
know.
that's part of my presentation that you'll see on the 8th, as
Right.
well as the presentation that's going to the town, for the town's book. We'll have enrollment history. I think I did 10 years, I believe I
Yeah.
shared with you already, 10 years or 12 years of enrollment history, as well as prediction of what enrollment's going to look like in 2021, based not just on prediction, but also on the actuals of the March 1st SIMS data, which is dramatically different than the October 1 data that we have. We have increased total amount of students. I believe we're up to 2,008 students as of March 1st, which is a different reflection from October and then of December as well. So there'll be discussion as to how we came up with those numbers during that presentation, but in terms of what we put up on the website, I can share that with the committee prior to putting it up.
So we have a motion on the second on the table to move forward with the proposed FY 2020 needs budget. With no further discussion, I'll ask Ms. Hames to call a roll.
Mr. Fabiano?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes,
Mr. Perrin?
Yes.
Mr. Capabianco?
Yes, that's 6 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The motion is adopted. Moving forward, superintendent's report.
Yes, So this week I'll be short. As you know, once a month I'm going to be a little bit longer. I'll try to be entertaining during those longer meetings, and certainly will provide you with a pregame for my longer superintendent's report, so you have an opportunity to review that before the meeting. So just a few items that I think are super important. ALICE training has been completed in all 4 of our schools with our staff. Staff have been put through their certification, which was their online certification test that they had taken at the beginning of the school year and have now done actual on-the-ground training. I deeply thank the Winthrop Police Department and the amount of effort and time they dedicated to making sure that we had the training and that it was appropriate for our teachers. At our next leadership meeting, we will be discussing as a leadership team, where do we go from here in terms of our students and our parents. And we'll be leaning on Chief Delahanty and Officer Armistead as well to help support us and lead us through the next step in that process. I feel confident that having our teachers trained and our staff trained, and now having them had taken the certification course, we are steps beyond where I ever thought we would be in developing more protocols and a higher level of understanding about what it takes to keep our students safe. And I applaud the teachers. This was not the most comfortable training for staff to go through. It's different, but certainly is something that comes highly recommended across the nation now. So more to come. We'll be able to roll that out to parents. We just want to make sure we're doing it as recommended through the program. So we'll be meeting for some more on that. Just a couple of other items. Title I night. We had a Title I night. I'd like to give a big shout out to the Title I staff: Mary McGonigal, Megan Ball, Joe Buccini, Krista Adriani, Holly Gonclaves, and Kathy Del Vento, as well as Laurie Galvin and the entire library staff. I would like to thank that library staff for continuing to put up with me and partner with me in creating a relationship between a place that takes our students after school every day up until some nights 6 o'clock, and helping us teach our students during the day and then transition some of those social skills and behavioral expectations into the community of the library. We've been working very closely with them. So we had our Title I night. We had over 200 people come out for that showing, where the kids were participating in a scavenger hunt, and they also, there were about 90 students, but they brought siblings and other family members with them. So it was a nice social night for the kids. They got to take home some prizes. They got to make some puzzles. They got to make some decorations. And number one, they got to have snacks, which is the way to get 200 people in a room, is to provide snacks and toys. And we also snuck in some reading and love of literacy while we were there. So I thank all of those folks. As far as, you know, it wouldn't be a week without some drama information, and our students participated in the NTEG Drama Festival. And I feel like a broken record, but as usual, we did amazing. And I want to highlight a couple of our kids. Our All-Star, we're moving on to the semis, and All-Star awards went to Dan Tracy, Allison Earl, Maria Tracy, Olivia Festa, Heather Buccini, Jared Owens, Samantha Long, and Anthony Melchionda. Those were all awards for All-Star Company. The acting awards for ensemble, Alex Ramirez, Connor Clark, Brenna Nolan for set and light design, Ian Page, who scared me during the presentation, I'm not going to lie, during the play because of the makeup that he apparently did to himself, Maya Grennan, and Jackson Tolliver, who is very good at, say it again?
Maya Gryan.
Oh, Gryan, I apologize, Maya Gryan, and Jackson Tolliver, who has been my Twitter hashtag, all kinds of.
He tweeted you and I,
He
tweeted a
tweeted,
random person.
little does he know, I don't have social media, but people send me stuff. He has been vying for snow days because he's a senior, I think since July 1st. So I thank him for that. There aren't going to be any more, but thanks for the help. And also, our Regional History Day, we had a competition in Stoneham representing Winthrop High School, and in the group, we had a bunch of awards there. Honorable mention, Ayat Walid, I believe, if I'm saying it right, Fatima Marani, for their project on Jane Addams, Catherine Zufante, and Fatima Tufa for their project on Flint, Michigan. We also had some individual exhibit winners. Second place went to Olivia Driscoll for her project on Little Rock 9. Olivia now moves on to the States. That will be held April 6th in Winchester. Olivia was also recognized as one of the 3 Frederick Douglass Scholars at the contest and was presented with a Frederick Douglass Scholarship Award, so congratulations to her. Also competing in that Saturday contest were the following students and projects. Denise Baldrick, the 1919 influenza epidemic. Dan Tracy did Joseph Statlin. Madeline Rossi did Chicago, America's Second City, and Luke Riley for Napoleon at Waterloo. We also had an amazing weekend this past weekend. Our students at the middle school won the Quiz Bowl. They competed against 11 other schools, not all public schools, I must say, quite a few charter schools and private schools. And our Winthrop #nerds walked away with first place. So super pumped for them, very exciting. Mr. Farnsworth certainly helping out with that. We also had a lot of success with our Parks and Recreation basketball crew. A number of students played up in Danvers at this amazing sports complex, which first time I've ever been there was last week. About 10 different fields and basketball courts. And on Sunday, I happened to take my dad with me, and it was as if I was taking him to the coffee shop because there was so many Winthrop people there. And it was great to see all the coaches, but more importantly, all of our young athletes in one big building supporting each other and being happy for each other. So many wins there, many happy students. So it was a good weekend for Winthrop Public Schools and a good month. And we're on to the semis for the MTEG, am I saying it right? And that will be, I believe, not at Stoneham High. I know Stoneham is participating because my niece is in it, but we'll give you some more detail. It'll be on our website. Keep checking Facebook. Patty keeps up on Facebook and posts lots of wonderful things about the success of our students, both in the classroom, outside the classroom, in the community. And it's a good way to pop on and look at some great pictures of some really, really talented students. And that is the end of my superintendent report.
All right, thank you. Any personnel updates?
Personnel, we have only one posting, and that is for a long-term sub, ESP. And no retirements, no resignations at this time.
All right, any new business? All right. Public comment? Hear none? Public relations? Ms. Swope?
No.
Ms. Fabiano?
No.
Ms. Perrin?
The students are performing the Golem at 7 o'clock Wednesday right here. And that's a free performance by donation.
Awesome.
I did not know that.
I have inside information.
Okay, you get them inside. All right, let's hope the room is open.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Mr. Matucci. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, the ayes have it, the motion is adopted.